This play, I think, it touches on so many different themes, but the key ones are about cultural identity, it is about coercive control and domestic abuse, and it's also about mental health. You know, I'm Zambian heritage, and I think Zambian culture is like fascinating and really complex and really interesting, and I've never seen that on stage, I've never seen it represented in media, so I was like, well, I'll do it then. I'll write something that I think can really speak to that, and like bring in all of these amazing different things I know about my culture and my history and my family and things like that. So that's definitely a big aspect of it. I think the other two areas around domestic abuse and mental health is something that there's a lot of misunderstanding about what that looks like. And there's definitely more of a public conversation happening about the impact that has on women's lives, but so much more needs to be done in order for people to see what those experiences are and what they lead to. And I think that theatre as this like immersive experience that people become so emotionally invested in is definitely one way that can be done.
I think it's really important as well to talk about the nature of coercion and that unwanted sexual contact. And I think very often in media we see violent scenes of rape, essentially, or it looks like one way, as if the only way that a woman can be sexually violated or assaulted is when she doesn't want it in a very obvious and aggressive kind of way. And I think what this piece also does try to highlight is there are sometimes ways that you're being coerced and manipulated into behavior that you don't even know it's happening. And it's so common that it's scary. I mean, we've had private conversations in our rehearsal room that have really helped sort of highlight quite how common this is, and for people to understand that it's not just rape when you're running down an alleyway, but maybe it's with someone you know and have trusted and developed a relationship for a long time, and before you know it, you're in a situation that you didn't intend or plan. And I think sometimes a subtle representation of that in a production can help people lift the veil off in their own lives, and that's another reason why a story like this is so important.
But I feel like what we've really talked about and what we've really gone into is like the financial side of things, and how even at a young age how that can be something that is used to control you know, the emotional side of things like social media, how that can be used as well to control or to abuse or whatever. And I think that's something that I've not seen as much, is like the things that teenagers use, the things that young people use, that Gen Z millennials use in this generation, how that can also be used to do all of these very like dark and horrible things.
Very recently, there was a young woman who died by suicide, and on the coroner's report, they listed for like the first time ever that the cause of that was because she had been subject to domestic abuse. So there is, as I said, much more momentum, much more happening now to show the link between these two things around how someone who's experienced an abusive relationship, the impact that it has on their mental health and the kind of like extreme that can lead to, and hopefully kind of shine a light on certain behaviours so that people can look at it within the context of this bigger picture and say, actually, that's not quite right. And when I felt a bit off or when I felt a bit uncomfortable, there was a reason for that, and I need to interrogate that a bit more and understand more about what I've been experiencing.